Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Have you heard of magic?
Did you see the anger in my face? How long have you been practicing that?
Oh, I've known how to do this for like a decade.
No, that's not the question I asked. For this,
I didn't practice at all. I literally haven't done this since I was like in college. But
I know how to do it. Do you have a little trick you're gonna do?
No, I don't have a trick I'm gonna do. Honestly, this has nothing to do with the episode. I just thought it'd be funny if I brought my old magic cards. They're nice. They're slick.
They're very slick.
They're nice. I like them. They feel good. Crushing it.
Yeah, we're married. No, stop.
Sorry.
Get together, dude.
Sorry.
It involves me kissing your mouth.
Kiss my finger.
Let me see.
Oh my God. I did not expect you to go that hard.
Things I learned last night.
My favorite part about this deck. Hold on, let me show you. Let me show you my favorite part about this deck.
Mm-hmm.
Is I've
So
got
this has nothing to do with the episode?
a blank card, which is good for tricks.
This has
Yeah,
nothing
this
to do
has
with
literally nothing to do with the episodes. I just thought it was fun. If I just brought a magic
And like not even an impressive thing. Like not even like a magic trick. Just you fanning the cards.
cards out, yeah. I don't
Okay,
remember,
what a good start.
I don't remember a single trick I used to do. We can just leave these here.
Sure, dude. That was worth it. Yeah, I'm so glad you did that.
Have you ever heard of Smedley Butler?
Say it again.
Smedley G. Butler.
Smedley?
Smedley G. Butler.
Yes, Smedley. If I was reading a
G.
book
Butler.
and this name came up, the character I would create for Smedley in my head, pull up a picture of Smedley, would
give
be
me a
like, Smedley.
Smedley. Yeah, that's, I think that is fair. That's kind of how I would describe him as well. So Smedley Butler. This is Smedley Butler.
Oh, okay. So this is like a World War I photo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Here's another picture of him dancing in the rain.
This is World War II, and I'm going to be honest, they don't look like the good guys.
He is.
Okay.
Yeah, so Smedley Butler,
He is.
A very brief story of who Smedley Butler is. He is one of the most decorated Marines in U.S. history.
Okay.
He's one of 19, I believe it's 19, who ever received the Medal of Honor twice. And so he was a young soldier. He enlisted at the age of 16 to fight in the Spanish-American War.
Okay.
Because he just believed in the cause, and then was a career Marine. And ended up reaching the rank of general. And throughout his career, just crazy feats of bravery that got him all these medals. His two Medal of Honors, one of them was an operation in the Caribbean. They were trying to take a rebel fortress that was deemed impenetrable. And instead of commanding his army to invade it like a typical way, there was a drainage pipe that was 2 feet in diameter, and him and one of his sergeants crawled through the drainage pipe like right into the courtyard, and they took this fort from the courtyard.
Yeah,
the two of them. And then
heck yeah.
And then there was another event where him and his army, they went in the Philippines, like again another rebel controlled town, and they were outnumbered 6-1, and they managed to survive. And in that encounter, he was actually shot in the chest, but his button took the shot and it drove the button into his chest and knocked him out. He was seriously injured, but the button was enough of it slowed the bullet down enough that he survived.
Wow.
And so he's got this crazy gash in his chest from that. And when he woke up,
a little button imprint.
Yeah, he's got this button imprint, and he woke up. He woke up on the battlefield thinking he had been shot, but he was fine, and he continued and didn't stop until the
He wakes up on the battlefield and is like, tell them his name is Jet.
Wait.
I'm good.
I'm okay.
And then just gets up and
and just continues to
I
war.
wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it, to be honest. I'd have been like, well,
Like, I'm kind of done with this.
God saved me once.
Sucks.
This is terrible.
I wish I wasn't doing this right now.
Good luck, boys. I've been thinking about running for president because yeah, only because my brother's in the Air Force, and I think it'd be funny to be his boss. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like I win, and now I'm like, yeah, you work for me.
I own you.
Yeah, and I can control his fate.
And then, like, you get elected, you win, and then, like, you're doing, like, an interview.
I'm doing president stuff. The rest of the job sucks, you know? But the best part of the job is like,
I'm my brother's boss.
Hey, call the Air Force up real quick.
Force. I
want to know what Myers is doing today.
I need him to come clean the
That's
toilet.
got to be in my daily brief. Yeah. I'm going to make him the one that stands outside the window. He's not a Marine, but he's going to stand next to the guy who is a Marine so he can see what he could have been.
Yeah, this could have been
like you could have been you if you didn't join the rinky-dink Air Force, buddy.
Rinky-dink Air Force.
Yeah.
So what's really interesting about...
I'm your commander-in-chief.
You have to call me chief.
Yeah.
Legally, you have to call me chief.
He has to salute me when I walk in for Thanksgiving. Oh yeah, dude, this is getting to be pretty good. I like this bit a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna run. I'm running in 2028. I like if I walk into Thanksgiving and my brother has to stand and salute me. And my uncle too. He's a veteran. Yeah, right.
You have to do it until I say at ease.
Yeah,
like, and I'm not
gonna. Oh yeah, dude. Caden, will you pass the potatoes? Oh, you can't because you're.
He's just like,
yeah. Hey, you're slacking. Posture. Is that what we train you in the Air Force? Yeah.
So
that's a great bit. I like that a lot.
So Smedley is operating. The
Eagle Scout over here was looking pretty disapproved. He was sitting here being like, "Don't disrespect the Air Force like that." You know, he loves the military. He loves the
Air
Force.
So they he's a Marine at the time where, and I think that this might still be the case. Let me actually double check this. But he's a Marine, and what's significant about him being a Marine is okay. So at this time, and I believe this is still the case today, but today there's kind of like some loopholes that they use to do this. But technically, only the Congress has the power to raise an army. And so the point of the Marines is the Marines aren't the army, and they can go do army stuff in peacetime. And so he is fighting a lot of wars.
What years is this story taking place?
This story is going to take place in the 1930s, but I'm kind of giving you background.
Okay.
Butler. And so that is after.
So it was a World War I photo that I was looking at.
Yeah, and so this event is after he had already retired from the military. He served a 30-year career. And so he fought in World War I and Spanish-American War and every war and
skirmish, all the stuff in between. Yeah, for sure.
And he, being a Marine, did a lot of these like special operations. And so he was. Are you familiar with the term Banana Republic?
Yes.
If you're not,
I love their clothes. I'm wearing their jeans right now.
So they're not that.
Serious.
Not that Banana Republic. What they're named after, which is a weird thing to name your brand after. I was trying to get the tag. Don't take my cards. So I couldn't find the tag. I don't believe you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did find the tag. You slapped my hand. He's taking off his belt. Yeah, prove it.
Where does it say it?
It's gonna be Old Navy. What is it?
These are Gap.
Same brand,
you know what happened?
Same company.
Was I bought some expensive jeans from Banana Republic.
Yeah.
And then I went over to Gap and I was like, these are the same jeans.
These are the same.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, this is.
Yeah. And so do you know the Banana Republic?
I gotta
what
take
that's
these
named
off.
after? Remember when I used to shoot without any shoes? I would take my socks, my shoes off, and I would unbuckle my belt and unbuckle my pants.
And that was never a thing for you to be like, maybe I'm getting a little fat. You were always just like, I feel better when I don't wear this belt. And I was always like, yeah,
I think there's a reason.
Yeah, I think you just need a new belt, buddy.
I think you're getting a little big there, bro.
Yeah. If you look at our stuff, we really did ebb and flow for a while there.
That's life.
We've
man.
been pretty consistent
That's just
lately.
life.
We look fine.
I'm not. I've put on some
I
pounds.
mean, like we look consistent. Like it's been slower. I think we fluctuated quite a bit.
I don't think so. I think I've gained a lot of weight over the last.
You're not as big as you were.
Well, it's true. I'm not as big as I was, but
And that's something that I use a lot.
that's a win. I guess, yeah.
If I want extra crab
it's
rangoons,
been worse.
I told Alex this the other day. We went to Panda and I was like, I'm going to eat those crab rangoons. I said, but that's probably not good for me. But also, I used to eat a family-sized bag of Doritos.
All of the crab rangoons.
I used to eat like 4 orders of crab. So like one order is not bad.
Technically, if you think about it, like this isn't.
I used to eat entire cheesecakes. Do you understand? Like that's. And so like, yeah, dude, one slice is fine.
It's fine. It's not that bad. So Butler was in the military at the time of Banana Republic. If you don't know what the Banana Republic was, it was a period where what's the Chiquita bananas? We had the United States had just recently discovered bananas. And they started importing them into the US, and Americans were so hyped on these. And the US companies that were using it became pretty exploitative, and there became a local rebel group that started like fighting these corporations.
Yeah.
And so the military came in and wiped them all out and took over these banana farms and ran the banana farms by like the military to bring the bananas in. And effectively, and in some cases, overthrew the government, like through like an actual like CIA-backed coup to take over the government and install. And that's where the phrase Banana Republic comes in. We created a republic that we could control with a puppet government so we could have their bananas, which is crazy.
Right.
And this was an era where a lot of these things were happening, where the Marines were sent in to do these coups or quell rebellions,
Right.
or to just gain control of a natural resource, whether that's bananas or oil was a big one, sugar was a big one. And this was a very common thing in this era. And he realized this towards the end of his career. And he actually put out this... or did this speech, and it's a famous speech called the War is a Racket speech. And in it, he says this. He says, I served in all commissioned ranks from second lieutenant to major general, and during that period, I spent most of my time being a high-class muscle man for big business, for Wall Street and for bankers. In short, I was a racketeer for capitalism. I suspected I was just part of a racket the whole time. Now, I am sure of it.
It's a crash out episode.
This is not a crash out episode. Well, it could be. We could crash out, but we're not gonna.
And
that's growth. Now I'm gonna crash out. Now
I'm really sorry I did that to you. Oh, that was bad.
I like fully committed too. Like I threw my shoulder out.
Yeah, dude. That's crazy. Here, you wanna make yourself feel cool again?
Yeah,
do that.
Yeah.
Hello. It was 2007.
2007? Magic was cooler after that.
David Blaine. They want that stuff back.
I used to be able to do this thing that I don't think I could do now, but I'm going to try it right now. We'll see if this works.
Or you do like the...
Yeah, you would grab it and you would say, is this your card? If you're listening,
try it again. You do the thing where you go, what?
Is this your card? Is this your card? What about? Now, is this your card? I can't do it. That one takes like actual practice. I used to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
I really wish I could
do magic anymore.
I really wish I could have straight faced that. Dadgummit, man.
I can't do magic anymore. I used to, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing I can't do magic anymore.
Yeah, that's something you want to grow out of.
I had like 4 or 5 of those decks.
Yeah, I know.
Those magic decks.
I know that about you. Did you have the magic kit?
I had a magic kit when I was young.
Yeah. And they had like the box with the little mirror, the little angled mirror.
Yeah.
So you could put the rabbit in the box and it would look empty. And you had the little
wand with the ball thing.
Yeah, and the little ball thing that like, it looked like a fake ball, and then you open it and there's no ball there now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun stuff. Magic is fun.
Look, there's a ball in there. Don't touch it.
Don't touch it. You can't touch it. If
Yeah,
you touch
you
it,
can't touch
if you
it.
touch it, we both
ruins the
die.
trick.
If you touch it, we both die.
If you touch that, we both die.
So Smedley,
he's like, hey, I've basically done a lot of war crimes.
yes.
Well, war crimes didn't exist then, did they?
I mean, well, I guess not.
That's what I'm saying.
I
Like,
guess
I don't
technically there was. Yeah, I guess.
I'm sure there were some agreements, but like
There wasn't
war crimes
war
weren't really
crimes.
like
Yeah.
agreed on.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
That's a relatively new thing.
Hey, thanks for watching our show. If you like it, a great way to help out is by being a Patreon supporter. Doing that helps make this show possible, but it also gets a lot of perks for you. You can get every episode a week early ad-free. You get access to a Discord where you can meet a lot of other people who love the show and actually hang out with Jaron and I every month on a hangout. And we're also in that Discord chat all the time, talking with people, talking about episodes and just random stuff in life. It's super fun. There's a way to get birthday messages, a free gift, merch discounts in there. So there's a lot of really great reasons to be a Patreon supporter. You get a lot of benefits out of it. And it also makes the show keep happening. So if that sounds great to you, you can go to support.tilln.com or tilln.com/support, or just tilln.com and search around until you find the links and become a Patreon supporter. We really appreciate you doing that. But if not, right back to the episode, right? Yeah, he actually tells a story of... So I didn't know this before researching this, but do you know why we took Hawaii?
For the bananas?
No, we wanted the Philippines, and we needed a
Yeah.
refueling
We needed
station.
somewhere on the way.
Yeah, so we took Hawaii to be a refueling station, take the Philippines, and he was a part of the mission to take the Philippines. And while he was there, they had set up, what do they call them? I think they call them re-concentration camps, because the idea, it was a concentration camp in reverse. You would concentrate all the people you wanted to keep alive, and then everybody outside of that was fair game. And so they were literally just decimating villages. And so they would take people in that were, I don't know, politically valuable to them, and they would just destroy. And they did that for natural resources. And so he learned pretty quickly that
We're on the cusp of a crash out.
He learned pretty quickly that he was on the wrong side of most of these conflicts. And so...
That's why I asked at the beginning, I said, it looks like
he looks like the bad guy.
Yeah.
But no, he's actually... Well, I guess... He did do a lot of bad things, but he did it under the...
But now he has a Saul to Paul conversion.
Yeah,
right?
well, I don't even know if I would say he had a conversion. Like, I don't think he recognized... Because even in that quote, he said, I suspected I was part of a racket the whole time.
Okay.
Now I'm sure of it. So like the whole time, he's like, we might be the bad guys.
Yeah.
And then over time, he's like, we're definitely
what are
the
we
bad
doing
guys.
this for? Oil?
Yeah. And so, but here's the thing. He was a very decorated war hero.
Okay.
And he was very highly respected. He was sought out. He would do like conferences for like the American Legion. He would do all these big government events, corporate events. Like after his career, he was all over the country as like this war hero.
Okay.
And veterans loved him because of the bonus bonds. What is it called?
Bonus bonds, bonkers, Billy Bass.
The bonus bonds army event.
Okay.
And so after World War I, there was this thing where the government gave everyone who fought in World War I, all the veterans, bonus bonds, which was a bonus for fighting in the war that they won. But they were bonds because the government's like, we can't pay you yet, but we will.
They're like, hey, there's a, don't cash that till next week kind of vibe.
Yeah. And so they were like, I think it was like they'll vest in like 1939 or something like that. Then you can pay it.
Perfect timing too.
And so
what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen between now and then?
Who knows?
Don't worry about it.
So all the veterans come back from World War I. They go back to their regular life, and life is normal for a little bit. And then the Great Depression kicks off. And for a couple of years, all these veterans are trying to make it through the Great Depression, but they're all out of work. They're not surviving. And so finally, in December 1932, a giant group of these veterans march on Washington doing what is the bonus bonds march.
Yeah.
And they come in basically demanding that they have their bonuses paid now because they need it. And they set up camp in Washington.
Yeah.
And it's basically Occupy Washington, like Occupy Wall Street.
Right.
But these are all World War I veterans, like war heroes from World War I, just camping out in Washington, doing these speeches, doing these rallies, very peaceful. There was never any like negative events, never any violence.
Sure.
But they were there for a while, and they were kind of blocking Washington because there were so many of them.
Okay.
And so
wasn't there a guy who was like living outside the White House for like decades? You know what I'm talking about? There's a pretty famous protester.
No, I don't know what you're talking about at all.
Let me find it. Hold on.
While you're looking it up, I'll kind of finish this story because after they continued to demand, they wouldn't go anywhere, they couldn't get rid of him. Eventually, Hoover ordered in the army to get rid of him. And so the army rolled into Washington with tanks, and they burnt down their camps.
Yeah. This lady held a decades-long protest outside the White House.
And she just camped outside it?
Yeah. I mean, she was out there for a long... I mean, like, that was a pretty... The White House Peace Vigil was since the 80s.
Wow.
She was out there.
That's wild. Never heard of that.
When did she die? Let's see. 2016.
Did they kill her? The Peace Vigil? Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that. It's a logical question. Because this went on for forever. And Hoover, I don't know if you heard me when I said this because you were Googling her. Hoover sent in the army to break up this bail bonds army that was out there looking for, or not bail bonds, bonus bonds.
Yeah.
And he sent
so
in
it's
the
army versus army now.
Yeah. And
wow. They were fist to cuffs. Okay.
They came in with tanks. They came in with gas.
Oh my gosh.
They gassed them out and they burned down their camp. Literally set it to blaze. 2 veterans died in this affair. Hundreds were injured. And it's an interesting juxtaposition because we now know through history that this literally was war heroes from World War I against war heroes from World War II that fought each other and right there in like the White House lawn, which is pretty wild. Butler, Smedley Butler, was there. He was doing speeches the whole time. He was for the bonus bonds side of things.
Right.
He's like, you guys are heroes. Like what you're doing is like your American right. Like they should pay you. You sacrifice your lives for them. Like totally siding with the veterans.
Look at this, man. Not a phone in sight, huh? So stupid. They're all just listening.
But this was a moment that kind of like cemented Butler's grip on veterans. Veterans were like, he's our guy. He's one of us. He's with us. Like he was a general. He was top brass, but he's like here with us in this like tough moment. And so because of that, there was a guy by the name of Gerald McGuire. You recognize this guy?
No, but I see he's got a fat cigar. I could play him in a movie, I think.
Honestly,
it'd make my ears a little bigger.
This movie would slap. I'm not gonna lie.
Make my face a little rounder.
So
I have a better hairline. You could play his hairline.
So Butler is. You could play his hairline.
Sorry, I said that.
They literally.
Sorry, I said that. They
CGI
your hairline onto my head. Hey, let's give a good clean shot to the camera, Tim, so I can do that. And then I'll go in and give a Photoshop of your hair.
Your head onto mine.
Yeah.
My head onto
that's what I'm going to do with my time. All right. Should I be doing other productive things? Of course.
And so that McGuire guy, Butler is just enjoying retirement. He's at his retirement home. And he's just chilling one day, and a limo pulls up to his house. McGuire gets out and goes up to his door, and basically is like, "Hey, can I come in? I got a question for you." And he's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "I got a question."
He's like, "I'm the guy from the limo."
I'm the guy from that limo. Did you see me get out of it?
It's like pretty. It's like it's kind of like obvious. A status of like, you're gonna let me in your house.
Yeah. And so he connects with him. He's like, "I'm a wounded veteran. I survived the war. I'm one of you." And he said, "I now work.
One of you.
I now work for a Wall Street firm called Grayson Murphy and Co." And he basically travels around the world selling bonds. He's a bond salesman. And he's like, there is this issue going on with the American Legion. He said, we don't really like the politics of some of the top leadership in the American Legion.
Okay.
We've written this speech, and you have like a lot of leeway with veterans. And so we would love it if like you would give this speech to the American Legion. And he reads the speech, and he pretty quickly realizes that this speech is trying to sway the veterans from their position to the position of Wall Street. Because what's happening at the same time is FDR's New Deal is going on.
Right.
And so it hasn't passed through, but a lot of bankers and Wall Street elites are very against everything that the New Deal was going to do because it was going to
redistribute
a lot of the wealth. Yeah.
Right.
And so...
And it's almost like that set us on a really strong trajectory.
And so McGuire...
Well, we're not going to talk about it.
We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to crash out. McGuire is basically like, yeah, here, like, we would love you. And so he reads it, and he pretty quickly is like, no, this is preposterous.
Anti the message.
Yeah. And so he actually, like, the reports we have is he physically grabs the guy and he drags him into another room. When he drags him into the other room, he takes him in this room where all of his war trophies are, but they're not like his medals. No, they're not his medals. They're not like awards from the U.S. government.
They're like people's ears.
No, they're gifts from locals.
Oh, that was
like,
terrible. That's a terrible joke.
They're gifts from locals all over the world where like he protected them from things.
Oh.
And he's like, these are the things that like, these are the reason I fought. And he's like, but people like you and people like the people you work for made me fight just to make them wealthy. And then he throws him out of his house. Like physically throws him out of his house. And he's like, don't ever come back here again. And so McGuire kind of dusts himself off, gets in his limo, and he takes a trip to Europe. And he's like, I got to see what these people in Europe are doing. Because this is an interesting time in the United States as well, because fascism is on the rise in Europe, multiple different states. And in the US, we have this like idea of fascism today because we live in a post-World War II world. They did not. And so they didn't see where fascism went yet. And so there's a lot of people in the US, especially wealthy business people in the US, who thought fascism was a great idea. And so he was going studying fascism across Europe because he was like, this could be our solution. He liked the things that they were doing. He thought that they had good solutions to unions and labor rights and all these things.
Yeah, all the things that were in their way. Good solutions to unions and labor. Yeah.
And so he literally studied under Mussolini. And he came back and he was
what?
Like, yeah. And he came back and...
My mentor. Okay.
He came back and...
Well, you don't know what you don't know, I guess. They didn't know yet. Ugh.
And Butler was traveling somewhere, doing some conference.
Right.
And McGuire tracks him down. And McGuire basically follows him back to his hotel room. And is like, hey, like, we're making some progress. And he has a briefcase. He opens up the briefcase and he's got $30,000 in cash. And he's like, there's a lot more where this came from. He says, the people I work with, they have agreed, if you join us, to pay you $300 million that day, in that day's money. Because they said, and these are literally JP Morgan Chase.
Yeah.
These are CEOs of Ford, CEOs of General Motors, like the biggest companies in the world. They have recognized that if FDR's New Deal goes forward, they're going to be the majority of their wealth.
Pinched.
So all of them have basically said, we will give half of our wealth to stop this from going forward. And so...
I'm not going to do it.
So what?
But you see what I'm saying, right?
And
where it's like, listen, we'll put a lot of money toward not having to put a lot of money. You know, like that.
We'll put a lot of money so we don't have to put as much money.
I guess.
Yeah. Because they're like, we're going to lose 90% of our wealth. And so we'll spend 50% of our wealth to keep 50.
Negotiate then. I'll take 50.
And so basically what they say to him is they say, we see who you are and we see the influence you have over veterans and we will pay you better than you've ever been paid before to raise an army and to overthrow the U.S. government. And he hears this whole pitch from McGuire.
Yeah.
And he pretty quickly is like, okay, let's play this out. Tell me what you want me to do. And he gets the full report from McGuire. He gets the full plan of everything they want to do.
Yeah.
Every person involved.
Yeah.
And it is...
Give me all the names. Give me their Verizon account. Give me their... last four of their credit card numbers, their social.
And so he gives them all the list. And then he goes and he has another meeting. And at this meeting is... let me get the names of all these guys. So this is...
This is a painting.
Yeah.
We should get paintings of ourselves.
Kind of funny. This is Robert Sterling Clark. He's an heir to the Singer sewing machine fortune.
Sure.
And then this is...
not a thing you hear of anymore.
Sewing machine fortunes.
Yeah.
This is John W. Davis, who is J.P. Morgan's personal attorney. And then, you've already seen Gerald McGuire.
Yeah.
And then this is, what is this guy's name?
Sitting so freaking weird, dude. Like, crossing your legs is one thing, but putting your hands in your lap and like looking like that's so weird. That's Murphy. That's who this is.
Yeah, that's
right?
Grayson M.P. Murphy.
Yeah.
He's a Wall Street broker and a director of like multiple corporations.
Sure.
They basically sat down with him and they were like, here's our plan. You're going to raise an army. You're going to march on Washington. You're going to remove FDR. You're going to be the new president. And
they're like they want to do a full coup.
Yeah. And they're like, we're going to lead through you. So you're going to be the figurehead of this new organization. We're going to pay you $300 million to do this. And he basically agrees to the whole thing.
J.P. Morgan.
Yes.
His personal attorney.
Yeah.
Was trying to fully do a coup.
A full coup of the United States government. And so Smedley Butler takes all this information. And he turns around and he goes to a guy by the name of Paul Comely French. And he tells Paul all about this. Take a guess what Paul does for a living.
Paul's a reporter. I love him. I love him. Look at him with his little Harry Potter glasses and his pipe.
He is a stereotypical 30s newspaper reporter.
Yeah, she's. Hey, I need something for the. I didn't know this. Do you know why it's called a deadline?
No,
because there was a line. There's a once the machine's running. If you go past that line, the machine's big enough it's going to kill you.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the machine's moving, and so it's a safety line
like
that you can't. So it's like, hey, your deadline. Yeah.
Wow.
And so it's like once the machine's going, then you can't stop it. You're not going to go up there and get your story in.
That's a much better way to
Isn't that cool?
Communicate to my team. If you are late on this, you're
late on this, you're going to die. Well, I'm not going to do it. The machine is going to do it.
The machine will kill you.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Things I Learned Last Night. If you like the show, you want to support us, we've got merchandise that you can get, and it's good stylish stuff that I made. I put a lot of work into this stuff, so it's great to find other TILLN fans in the wild and be like, wait a minute, I know that shirt. And so we would love for you to do that. You can pop over to shop.tilln.com, or there's a QR code, or there's a link in the description. There's plenty of ways to find it. We promise we made it super easy. So thanks for supporting the show, and thanks for listening.
So he goes to French. He tells French everything that happened. And he's basically like, I need you to go verify everything and find out everybody involved. He's like, you're a reporter. And so,
okay.
So French goes and starts doing all this digging.
Yeah.
And he starts following all the rabbit trails, and he basically compiles all this stuff to verify everything that Smedley said. And Smedley's like, this is exactly what I wanted you to do. And so then Smedley goes to Congress and
snitch. Okay.
And they convene a special committee, the McCormack-Dickstein Committee. And at this committee, he basically details this whole plot from some of the wealthiest Americans to genuinely overthrow the U.S. government, remove FDR, and replace him as president. And they call this the business plot because it was all businessmen who came together and plotted to overthrow the government. And the only reason it didn't succeed is because they chose the one guy who would rat them out, who would say 300 million is not enough.
I don't think that's the only reason it didn't succeed. You know, I mean, like, the thing about, like, you got to rally those amount of people to go do the coup.
I mean, we don't know what would have happened after this point. There could have been a lot of reasons it would fail.
Sure.
The reason it failed that we had that
for them
that happened was they chose a guy that
they chose a guy who was like, this is a great plan. Yeah. No. Tell me more.
Tell me more about this. Yeah. They thought that he was on the side of the veterans and was going to side with the veterans and help, but they misread the situation.
But was the sentiment of the veterans that the veterans didn't want to do that?
No. But they thought that they could convince them. They thought that they could trick them. They were like, we'll convince them that this will make them wealthy. That this is that the FDR's New Deal is the problem. And I think, and I think this is like an important note. Like, I don't think that they were like intentionally tricking them. I think they believed the trickle-down economics idea. Like, I think they believed what fascism was doing was better for everybody because they were watching an early version of it. They didn't see how this story played out yet.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think they saw all this stuff, and on paper, a lot of this stuff is like, if the businesses
also,
are
we
wealthiest,
really did just take over other countries. Like, we really were just like, we run that now.
It is true. Yeah, all these businessmen.
This was a time when that was just the thing we did.
All these businessmen were used to a world where they would call Washington and say, "Hey, like we need you to go invade Cuba because we need the money."
Right.
And they would
just do it.
And FDR wasn't doing that.
FDR was a class trader.
Yeah.
That is something we should do. We should do some more stuff. FDR. We should do a thing on Hoover and how Hoover moved out west.
I don't know what you mean about Hoover moving out west.
Hoover moved out west to start Silicon Valley.
I don't know that story.
Oh, well, you should look that up.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to look into it. And so what's wild about all of this?
Well, what became so he didn't go out there and was like Silicon Valley, you know?
Speaking of Silicon Valley.
People were like, what is that? He's like, you're so far behind already, dude.
I've been wanting to tell you this for like 4 episodes, but they've all been too long. Have you heard of Mythos? Anthropic's Mythos?
No,
or
Mythos?
Project Glasswing?
No.
So this is Anthropic's new model is done. It's ready to release. Mythos.
Okay.
It's called Mythos, but they're not releasing it because in testing, it was able to find over 1,000 zero-day vulnerabilities in every major operating system and every major browser, and thousands, or I guess not thousands, hundreds of like highly used websites and applications.
And so then did they go tell everyone?
So what they did is they came up with Project Glasswing, and they brought in all these companies, and they're like, hey, these are the vulnerabilities that our new model discovered.
What?
Patch them. And the reason they're doing this, and they're using it now to go through and find more vulnerabilities and find the people who run these to patch these vulnerabilities before it releases, because they know that OpenAI is roughly anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks behind them on all their models. And
they claim.
And so
it's crazy. The more we find out about these people, the less we're like, it's starting to feel like Sam Altman is a little bit like, what's her face from Theranos?
The deep voice.
Yeah.
The deep voice. Yeah. Yeah.
Elizabeth.
A little bit.
Holmes?
Elizabeth Holmes. Yeah.
That's not the.
Elizabeth Holmes is deep voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one was kidnapped? Elizabeth Smart?
I don't know who was kidnapped.
You know what I'm talking about? I don't know. I always get her confused. Anyway.
But Anthropic is doing this project because they're like, OpenAI is just going to release it. And it's got this, and if it's at the same level,
and it's like
then people are going to be able to exploit all.
And that's the whole, and that's actually a pretty good PR move from Anthropic, where they're just like, hey, we're telling you, they wouldn't.
They're not gonna. Not gonna. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's pretty crazy. And but also, here's the thing: I use Claude as my primary.
Yeah.
And it doesn't know a lot about itself, is what I don't like. Because I'm like sitting here being like, I'm trying to set up a whole system where I can pull all of our episode transcripts so I can make our episodes easily, like so I can find out, hey, which episode did we talk about that in?
Yeah.
You know, way easier. And it's like I can only read text files. It's like, okay, so we set up the whole thing to pull the transcripts, put it in Google Drive as a text file, and then I said, great, can you see the stuff that I just pulled into the Google Drive? And it goes, oh, I can't read text files. Then I said, earlier you told me you could only read text files. Oh, they have to be actual Google Docs. Okay, we'll just redo and use all the credits again, I guess.
It's so annoying.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, these things,
so then I go, oh, it found all these 0 day, and I go, I don't know, man.
I think
those are a bit different because it's code.
Yeah,
it is a lot better at code and at like spreadsheets. That's like it's
Yeah, it's really good with code because code is not like, I mean, I guess sometimes, but most of the time code is very black and white.
It's and it's so easy. Anybody could do it, dude. And it's just one of those things where it's like people are like, oh, I'm a developer. It's like, dude, like this is the easiest thing that's ever been done, man. I've built several apps this week, you know?
The thing
you know what I'm talking
about? I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's like so easy.
Yeah, it's so easy.
A dummy could do it.
Dumb people could do that. You're right. It's so easy. It's so easy.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people who use like the chatbots.
Tim does that for his job.
A lot of people use the chatbots and they're like, these things are dumb, and they're kind of dumb in the chatbot things.
Right.
Like they're coding tools. Like they're building the coding tools first, and so like the coding tools are further ahead than the chatbots are in terms of what they can do.
Sure.
And it's
pretty wild.
It's actually scary how good it is at writing code now. And so like I fully believe that these things are finding vulnerabilities because Opus was finding vulnerabilities. And I've seen these reports. They are finding actual vulnerabilities that nobody else has found before. So it is. It's scary. We're marching towards the edge of everything not.
No, stop.
Sorry.
Get it together, dude.
Sorry. We can't.
But here's the thing, and this is where it's like I told you, and this is good. You know what? First of all, this is 4th episode in a row. Pretty banger. You're bringing some good topics.
Crash outs.
No. I'm saying you're bringing some good topics. I'm trying to be encouraging.
Thank you. I appreciate
You're bringing
that.
some good topics. Not that you were bringing bad topics. Not that you know what I'm saying, but like, hey. We're trying to crash out less. We're trying to be.
We're trying so hard. We're trying so hard.
Stop it! Don't try that hard.
Okay, sorry. I'm trying less hard. Yeah,
try harder to try less hard. No, we've been trying. We've been trying
really hard.
We're here to have a good time, man. Yeah. Anyway,
so we're on the line with it. But so this whole case goes forward.
Okay,
and it's kind of wild because the committee basically concludes that all of these corporate elites and bankers and businessmen and lawyers were colluding to overthrow the U.S. government. That's the conclusion that they make.
But
none of them were held accountable.
That's what I'm like. What?
Nobody was held accountable for it, which is
and it's. I think we talked about it before, where it's just like, oh, we're afraid if we hold them accountable, like. What is
the reasoning given was that they are leaders in organizations that are so large that
we can't
if we took all of them, because there were so many, if we took all of them and we held them accountable, that it would fracture the U.S. economy because the organizations are too big,
like,
and they were in the middle of the Great Depression,
so it's
and
too
they
big
couldn't
to fail.
afford it. They couldn't afford the risk that in the Great Depression, some of the last corporations that were able to give people jobs, all of a sudden couldn't give people jobs,
right?
Which is insane. And so these people got insulated by the fact that they.
It's like when these celebrities get DUIs and stuff. You see Tiger Woods?
Yeah.
Gets his DUI. Did you see that video? Yeah. Where he's literally like, I just got off the phone with the president. Shut up, drunk boy.
Shut up, drunk boy.
You're going to get arrested the same as all of us.
Shut up, drunk boy is one of those I've been thinking this. You came in wearing this thing.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Nah.
No, what are you talking about? Nah.
The 90s called. They want their jacket back.
Give me the phone. The 90s called? There's no one there. You made that up.
I didn't make that up. It's a bit. It's a bit. It's a common bit. What are you talking about?
Oh, let me talk to him.
What are you, a mob bot? Let me talk to him.
Reagan did that to me the other day. She was like, oh yeah, 2008 call. I tried to set you up for it earlier. And I was like, give me the phone.
Give me the phone. Let me
talk to you. She handed me her fingers.
Really?
And I went.
You want me to hand you?
Yeah. I went.
No, here, just take my fingers.
Okay. Fake phone. It's a really funny bit.
That's insane.
All right, I go, let me talk to him. All right. It's a fake phone.
I thought you were going to kiss my finger.
Let me see.
Oh my God. I did not expect you to go that hard. You're normally afraid of things like that. He's going to be washing his mouth for a week.
You're normally afraid of things like that. What does that mean?
I mean, you're normally afraid.
You're normally afraid of things. In what context is normally? I feel like you got to tell people that we don't just lick each other's fingers. You got to tell these people we don't lick each other's fingers.
I have never licked that man's fingers before.
Normally, you don't like that kind of stuff. What?
It's not you don't like it. It's you're scared of it. Probably
I don't like that. I need water. I don't like that kind of stuff.
I appreciate
as opposed to you,
I appreciate that you
who loves that stuff. What are you talking about? Normally, you're afraid to do that stuff. That's my thing.
I appreciate that you committed to that one. That was big for you.
Yeah, I don't like putting. Yeah, man, I don't like putting other people's fingers in my mouth. Yeah, I'm so weird for that. I'm so weird because I don't like to put other people's fingers in my mouth. Yeah, and if you're your first time listening to our show, you should know that normally I don't like to do that stuff.
This is it. This is the show. This is what we do on here.
Why do your hands taste like that?
That's such a weird thing to say.
You don't like that stuff. That was way funnier than the bit I was trying to do. I was just trying to do the fake phone bit.
So yeah, all these people just got away with it. That's the story here.
They didn't even make them fiddle off, dude. Okay, let's do it at the same time.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Things I Learned Last Night. If you want to listen to another one
and want to listen to another one,
go check out Jake
McNasty.
A crazy paratrooper
from World War II. Who's copying who here?
I thought that
are we gonna copy?
It seemed like we were trying to copy. We were trying to talk at the same time, and then it seemed like we tried to do a bit where you would say a line and I would say a line, and then it seemed like you were echoing me.
And then it seemed like you were
share this episode. Share this wonderful, great content that people need to see. And join us on Patreon. See you next week.
Patreon. See you next week.
Why would I spell it? Why would I spell
I don't know. I guessed wrong.
I thought that's what I was going to spell it?
I committed. I had to finish it. Patreon.